Why does it feel like Christmas gatherings are either Miracle on 34th Street or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with nothing in between? This video is going to talk about how to deal with judgmental families over the holidays. Hi, I'm Kim Long, and I'm with Dochas Psychological Services in Spruce Grove, Alberta. Family, they're great. They really are. You know, I sound mocking, but they really are. And we all look forward to the break together. The thing is it can be really difficult. And we're not alone in thinking that, because if you do a search on the web, there's a whole bunch of websites that actually address this very issue. And they kind of come down to three things. The first is to manage expectations and be realistic. What this basically means is don't set yourself up for disappointment. If you have no proof that something is going to be different, then you need to accept the reality of that piece. The second thing is boundaries. What are your limits? What are you willing to tolerate and not willing to tolerate? And third is being able to debrief. Debriefing with friends afterwards can be really important. And these are all really valid strategies. My question becomes, how am I supposed to do that? Like, if I'm wishing that something can be different or should be different, then how am I just supposed to accept that? And that's what we're going to be talking about. So in managing expectations and accepting reality, it's not that you don't get to feel what you feel. Like, it's human, it's realistic to feel disappointed and sad and frustrated and all of those things, to even feel angry. The difference is in the expectations piece. That's the key. Expectations bring that opportunity for disappointment because you're setting an expectation that people probably can't meet. And then you end up disappointed and the other person ends up hurt. So if you're able to say, look, Aunt Cindy, love her to pieces, but she gets blitzed every Christmas. And then it turns into a fight between her and mom. And chances are this year it's going to happen again. So let me prepare for that. That's very different than saying, it's going to be different this time. This is the year that Aunt Cindy and mom won't fight. What you have to ask yourself is, where's your proof that it's going to be different? What is tangibly different? What in the context has changed? Maybe Aunt Cindy has gone for help. Maybe you guys aren't serving alcohol at the event. If that's the case, then you have a reason to be hopeful that it's going to be different. But if nothing in the context has changed, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So you need to be able to manage the expectations and be okay with the fact that you're going to be disappointed if Aunt Cindy gets blitzed and her and your mom fight. Wow. See? English. Anyway, this ties into the next point about boundaries or limits. So we sometimes think that a boundary is about what we're telling the other person that they can or cannot do. And that's not actually true. A boundary is what we are willing to do depending on the choice that the other person makes with the limit you set. So, for example, if we think about Aunt Cindy again in the getting blitzed situation, you could set a number of limits around it. I apparently need to slow down when I'm speaking. If Aunt Cindy and Mom start to fight, I will leave. If I hear name calling and yelling, I'll ask them to stop. If they don't stop, I'll leave. If I see Grandpa, good old Grandpa, sneaking Aunt Cindy alcohol when we've asked her to stop and she said she wants to stop, then I'm going to call Grandpa on that, etc., etc., etc. You're going in with a plan to say, what are you willing to do in this situation and what are you not willing to do in a difficult situation? And that's your limit. And so how do you identify a limit? For me, the best way to define a limit is by how is my body responding? If I feel really uncomfortable, then I know that a limit is being brushed up against for me and that I need to pay attention to it and figure out what it is about. So remember, a limit is about managing your response, not their actions. You have zero control over their actions. Unfortunately, that would be really great if we could control other people in that way, but we can't. It's a really good idea to think about your limits before you go. And if you're able to bring a supportive person with you who can kind of be your backup if people give you a hard time about your limits, that can also be really handy. Or even just to be that reminder that you set that limit and that you're going to feel crappy if you don't enforce it. So it's really good to have those reinforcements if you can. Which brings us to debriefing with friends. Okay, it is awesome to go and see your friends afterwards. They need to be trustworthy friends, ones that aren't going to, be harsh. But the ones that will be like, you are not crazy, I empathize with you, even turning it into something humorous so that it's not, it doesn't sit on your heart the way that it would usually. Doing that can be really, really helpful. So there are a few links that I found in my searches to articles that could be really helpful. I'm going to ask that those get put up on the blog or be included in the description underneath the video. But as always, if you liked this video and would like to see more content, please hit subscribe, and there's a button underneath. Or if you have any questions or concerns, please email info@dochaspsych.com. So in the meantime, best of luck to you surviving these holidays. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do this, okay? And until next time, take care of yourself.